Hello, everybody. This is Sebastian Furtado, and welcome. Sorry that I'm late today. I worked last night and I worked the night before, so I haven't worked night shifts in a long time, so I was quite tired. But today here I am, and today I will bring you something that I felt inspired because of interaction that I had with a sales associate a few days ago. Today I'm bringing to you the Miss Dior Originale, which was, I'm pretty certain, the very first perfume of the Maison Dior, and it's still in production. It had to be for many reasons. But I will read a little bit because there's a lot of history behind this perfume. And I'm pretty sure it was created in 1947. I will read about it shortly. And the interaction that I had with this associate that led me to choose this perfume to speak about today was that I went to Shoppers Drug Mart. Shoppers Drug Mart is it's a chain of drugstores in Canada where they sell, perfumes, makeup, food, and stuff like that. And they were talking about Miss Dior. She was talking about Miss Dior, and I said, "Have you smelled the original one?" And she said, "What do you mean the original one?" I said, "Well, the ones, the versions of it that are being sold today, and they have been sold for the past many years, it's not the original one. It's not the very first Miss Dior." And I said, "Oh, really?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "Well, I didn't know you didn't know that." So apparently a lot of people don't know that the Miss Dior that's sold today, it's not the very first Miss Dior for the brand. This is the Miss Dior. It has Originale under the eau de toilette, as you can see right there. Originale. But I believe that the Originale was added to the label in the past. I mean, of course, it was added in the past, but in the recent past, I should say. I don't think it was the Originale as soon as it was created. I don't think it has had this title since its creation. And so I told her I would bring in to the store for her to smell, and I did. A couple of days after I brought it in, and but before bringing in it, when I started mentioning, I said that it's nothing like the current Miss Dior. It's totally different, and she was very curious to smell it because it's not that accessible to find it for some reason. Well, not that for some reason, it's not really a current perfume. It's not something that I think sells a whole lot because the scent profile of the perfume is very different than what the current Miss Dior would wear, which is the current Miss Dior perfume. I'm rambling a lot, so let me just spray it on. This is my second bottle of it actually, and I got it a few weeks ago, and I would create a little dent. I love this perfume. Yeah, I just created another little dent. It's so beautiful and has nothing to do with the current Miss Dior. But putting into perspective time and history, this perfume, as I'm pretty sure, was created in 1947. The Miss Dior at the time was a totally different woman, was a totally different Miss Dior. So it makes sense that this was the perfume at the time. This is much more classic. You can tell right away it's the soapy chypre. It's very green, it's mossy, lots of lily of the valley, soapy, and it's just not a perfume that you could imagine a 15-year-old today, who loves Ariana Grande, as an example, wearing. Well, maybe we could be surprised because the sales associate loved it when I put it on her skin, and she loved it. So it's surprising. Green, bright, citrus, very mossy right at the get-go, and stunning. I really, really love this perfume. It's a shame that it's hard to find, actually. I forgot what I was going to say. Let me read here. I found this article on Harper's Bazaar. But before we go there, I'm just going to read a little bit from Dior.com's website. So, Miss Dior Originale is the very first fragrance by Christian Dior. Its avant-garde green cheaper floral accord revolutionized perfume and embodies the perfection of the couturier's mark. L'eau de toilette originale more gently deploys this bold trail, which has become a great classic. The extreme refinement of the galbanum notes brings ultimate freshness to its floral heart of jasmine and grass rose absolute, while patchouli essence gives the fragrance its impertinence. Yeah, I don't know how close this is to the very original scent created with the help of the Monsieur Dior himself in 1947. It's my guess. It's not exactly the same. It was probably much stronger. It was probably much greener back then, because that's what was in fashion at the time, and I have never smelled the very original one to compare, but I'm happy with this. A lot of people say that it's not the same. It's just a pale ghost of it. It's just not the same perfume. It's just echoes of it. I don't know. I didn't hunt. I haven't hunted down for vintage bottle, and I probably won't, because a perfume from 1947, finding it today, the chances are the top notes are going to be quite off. And I love this. I love this as it is. I don't need to hunt down something when I really love this. And I love the freshness of the opening with its strong current, mossy and the galbanum. I don't get a lot of galbanum. I forgot how you say it. Sorry, I just read it. So yes, this Harper's Bazaar says it's an exclusive interview with the nose behind the new Miss Dior perfume. But Miss Dior meaning the current one, the pink, that one, and that's the article. It's quite interesting. I'm just going to read a little bit because it talks about the inspiration behind this. 70 years ago, Christian Dior launched his first ever perfume. The original incarnation of Miss Dior launched in 1947, decades before the subsequent success of the now iconic J'adore and Poison. The cheaper fragrance, with top notes of gardenia, clair sage, and bergamot, has remained an integral part of Parfum's Christian Dior brand. These years, the house of Dior worked with the perfumer creator François Demachy, who has been the nose at Dior since 2006, to reimagine, and he has now left actually. I think it was last year. He left Miss Dior. I don't know if he's going anywhere else, but Francisco Cuccian from Maison Francisco Cuccian replaced him to reimagine the original fragrance, which was inspired by the designer's own sister, Catherine. So this perfume, the original one, was inspired by Monsieur Dior's sister, Catherine. In more ways, this update of Miss Dior still represents Catherine. And then this will talk a little bit about her and as an inspiration. Miss Dior embodies the idea of femininity, body and soul. Catherine Dior was Christian Dior's beloved sister, who possessed a type of Parisian elegance that was simultaneously spontaneous, sassy and refined. What she also had was great intelligence and immense courage. She was a great resistant fighter and was deported, which marked Christian Dior forever. This image of a strong and beautiful woman represents the foundations of Miss Dior. And honestly, and there's a lot more to this article. You should definitely read it because it's worth it. It's really nice. And yes, I see that. I see a personality completely different from today's perfume, which I already mentioned. This is much bolder. It's something from another era. It's from another time. So, yeah. What do I smell now? It's still quite green, not dark. It's not a dark mossy green. No, it's galbanum. I'll remember now better. Galbanum. Maybe now I'm getting it a bit better. It's very soapy. This is supposed to be a lily of the valley centered. I don't know. Maybe that's why a lot of people say that it's not what it used to be, because they say that in the past it was a lily of the valley, like beast. I don't get a lot of lily of the valley here, but it's so beautiful, so beautiful, and very soapy and sharp, and in the opening it can be the little scratchy sharp that can make your nose tickle, but it's gone now. It's more to the softer kind of sharp, and if that's a thing, and it's still quite it's green throughout the whole life of the fragrance. Opening to the very end, it's going to be green, very green, and it's quite soapy. So yeah, I'm in a cloud of Miss Dior heaven here. Well, thank you so much for your time, your patience. I hope you had fun. Yeah, talking about this beautiful perfume that's a classic. And if you could get your nose on it, please do, because it's definitely worth smelling. It's a piece of history. It represents the house of Dior quite well. It's been around since 1947. And you should definitely try it, just for the sake of trying it, to say that you have smelled the original Dior at least once. I think it's important to not forget the ones that came before us. Very important. So yes, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, day, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. And the world does need more beauty lovers. Bye.